and welcome back to another lovely live stream with me, a girl named Bob, here on Twitch TV. However, today we are not doing anything video game related. Gasp! Clutch those pearls, I know, right? It's almost like I do other things besides just video games. It's almost like I have talent. Not to be full of myself there or anything, but yes, and from time to time I've been known to dabble in the arts just a bit, just a smidge. Unfortunately, I have not been doing any art for the past year and a half. It is now August 21st, 2018, and a year and a half ago, my cat died. I've gone over this story many times on previous streams, and ever since then, the last thing I finished was my deer skull icon, emblem kind of thing, that is just pure black and white with the patterns behind it and all that. It's like a rectangular pattern behind the skull with a arch over the antlers. And that was the last thing I made. And then I've just been incredibly depressed ever since her death. It was a pretty horrible way for her to go. So I've been trying slowly to do other projects to build myself up to the point where I have a solid foundation to stand upon, so I can start, picking myself back up, start being like, hey, I need motivation in order to do things and not just, sleep for 20 hours a day, that kind of thing. And thankfully, Twitch has been helping a whole lot by me being on a more regular, schedule of being like, well, I want to stream, I'm going to play these games, I'm going to play those games, all that. So that's been a huge help. Unfortunately, this past summer was nothing but living on the sun in a swamp for everyone on the northeast coast. So I did not get as much streaming done as I would have liked to. But it still has been a huge, huge benefit by doing what I have been doing. What I have been doing has been helping a whole bunch. So I want to start doing things that will also help me start getting back into I want to draw, I want to create. The video games are helping because it's a consistent schedule. I can always fall back onto playing either Dark Souls, Binding of Isaac, anything on the PlayStation, anything on Steam. I will always have video games to motivate me to keep going. That will always be an option. However, sometimes when doing just video games, it's not a creative outlet. And I am an artist. I've been an artist my whole life. And every now and then, I'll get that urge to make something. But since I've been in such a funk, I don't know where to begin. Granted, I've been planning on doing more for my Twitch channel. I wanted to start making, I will be making, now that the weather's finally become more normal for New York fall. It is only like 60-some degrees. It's great. There's no mass monsoon season coming at us right now. But what I'm getting at is I have the things to make for Twitch. I want to make the subscriber badges. I want to make emotes. As you can see, I've already made the alpha layout build, and that was a huge help in boosting me to get further and further, crawling myself out of this pit that I'm currently in. But I also need to start doing projects that motivate me for myself, because I want to do everything for Twitch for my viewers and for me as well. But I need to start doing projects that I enjoy in order to boost me up. And lately, I've always been a sculptor. I've always been a sewer, all that kind of stuff. Stop motion animation is my favorite form of animation and always will be. And lately I've been wanting to do like soft sculptures, working with fabrics, working with fibers, working with googly eyes, as many googly eyes as you can possibly imagine. Yarn, all that kind of stuff. The yarn's going to relate back to here. But unfortunately, when you have so many ideas just whirlwinding around inside your skull, you can't always pinpoint exactly where to start, and it becomes its own form of frustration and overwhelming. So therefore, I want to start with a project that is going to be, also just going to make sure that I'm still recording right there, yeah, to make sure that there's something that I can begin and something I can end with. Because with personal projects, this is a problem I always ran into with my tile cards from time to time, is that you want it to be as perfect as humanly possible. Nothing wrong with that mindset, but sometimes it can, if you get too focused on certain details or you lose sight of the larger picture, it's more harm than good. So right now, I just want to focus on projects that I can get done in a certain amount of time, and then it can inspire me to do other things. And this is where it leads to us now. What you're looking at right here is a form of knitting, kind of, called latch hooking, which is actually how people used to make carpets back in the day. This is an old layout that's been around for eons of how to actually make a carpet, and I'll be showing you guys more and more of that as we get into this. This is going to be my introductionary video into latch hooking as well, so people in the future ever ask questions because they don't know what the hell they're looking at, this is what I'm going to reference you to. So this right here is a form of latch hooking. It's not needlepoint, it's not crocheting, it's latch hooking. And so the other day, I'm going to go into my little story of how we got to this point. The other day, as in yesterday, I was going around looking for places to find things that, because I had ideas for soft sculptures that I wanted to do. No one had any of the supplies that I needed, so I'm going to have to look for those online whenever I finally do get to that point in my life where I can just make my own stuff whenever I want, like I always used to do before I became my own worst enemy. But the other day, as in yesterday, I stopped at Ace & More, of course, and all of a sudden I was going up and down all the aisles looking for the supplies, and I came across this. Let me see how it is. Yeah. So it's under the brand Wonder Art. The way this is set up is really awful too. I'll talk to you guys about the cameras in a second. But right now we're going to be doing a Skull and Crossbones latch hook pattern that is 12 by 12 inches. As you can see, it's on a grid. So it's just this basic little how-to kit, and I'm like, geez, this would be a nice side project to do because I haven't latch hooked in forever, and it would be a nice, little thing to show off, because the thing about latch hooking, I've been doing it ever since I was a kid. My grandma, as little time as I had with her in my life, she died when I was 4, she did teach me how to sew, she taught me how to latch hook, she taught me all those basic skills. I never learned how to crochet from her, though, because I was 4. You don't give knitting needles to a 4-year-old. But latch hooking, I always had. We always had latch hooking kits around, and we always had yarn around and all that kind of stuff. And it's just something that it soothes me. Alright? It's very much a go-to stress reliever. And it's still a creative outlet. My grandma would always have like those paint-by-number kits, all that kind of stuff. She did all the crafty kind of things that, grandma would probably be into. And so I also learned from her how to do these things and then progress with my own creative outlets. And that's what I'm going to be doing with this. So this little skull and crossbone pattern that is as basic as it gets, it's just black and white yarn, nothing else, is going to be what we're going to be doing for stream until it's done. Now, granted, I'm probably not going to finish this whole thing tonight. This whole section I was able to do last night. It takes about, there's 10, it's a 10 by 10 hook thing. So there's 100 squares per square. So if this is a 12-inch by 12-inch square, this whole thing's going to be 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You get the drift. If you want to do 10, so that's 400 by 400, and then times 400 by 400, so that's what? Is that 1,600 or 16,000? There's a slight number. Anyways, I don't need to do math right now. We're not going to focus on the math, but each little square, let me show you guys. Each little square represents basically what a pixel would be. This is a form of, it's like real life pixel art, where, like, if you ever see those bead kits where you can melt them down in order to make sprites and things like that in real life, this is the kind of thing, except it's soft sculpture. It's all yarn, it's all in fibers, it is It's bendable, all that kind of stuff. So how this works is each individual little square, when you put a piece of yarn into it, becomes its own thing. So if you lift it up like this, you can see that right here, this black piece of yarn intersects between these two open holes, so this hole and this hole, in order to become its own little pixel dot. So it takes up one square, and that's how that works. So for every single little hole is what you have to put into the yarn into in order to get your pattern. Now, so it's taken me about a half hour to do 3 to 4 lines across. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 in a half hour, and it's probably going to take me longer now that I'm talking with you guys as well. That equals about to 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, about an hour, maybe 1 to 2 hours for one side like that. It's pretty fast once you get the hang of it, especially when you only have to work with 2 colors. It's very simple, this design. So it's gonna be nice. But the thing is about this particular grid that we're using right now is when I was growing up, all the grids we always used already had the pattern printed on it. This is my first time actually latch hooking a plain grid with no design on it, because the manufacturer of this kit printed out its own how-to grid. So as you can see, it's all right there. I've completed the first core, the bottom row down there, and it's fantastic because I never actually thought of making my own patterns for a grid. So the fact that I bought this little $10 kit, now that I know how to graph it out and all that kind of stuff, it's going to be very easy for me to do whatever work I want in the future with latch hooking. So I have a feeling that after I complete this on stream, I'm going to start making my own designs. I already have a design that I feel like would be a good next project, which would be Binding of Isaac related. Now, granted, I think 4x4 is a bit too much right now. It's this is gonna be a one-time size thing. A foot by foot is a lot of work to put into it. But I have a feeling if I do a 3x3 Binding of Isaac figurine, I think that would turn out really nice. So I'm gonna start with this one design, and once we finish this, I'm gonna start moving on to other designs that I can. And like I've been saying, ever since I've moved to New York, I can't sell shop-wise any of that kind of things. I can't have an online shop without a vendor's license. However, living in New York, I can take as many commissions as I want. As long as I'm making something specifically for another human being, that does not fall under the vending license agreement. So I can sell these if people want to buy them or have a particular design or have me make a design for them, and then I can stream making them on Twitch for you guys to see. So I probably will be taking commissions in the future for if you want one of these made for you, and I would of course mail them to you. But again, one of my problems with taking on projects too is I start them, I don't always finish them. So I want this to be streaming, to be a consistent, to also force me to follow through. And I will definitely follow through on commissions and on smaller, my own personal projects kind of things. But like, I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this, like specifically latch hooking. For live streaming, I'd also like to move on to other projects too, as well as continue streaming video games and all that. But I think this would be a good thing for me to start with the creative streaming option, because the problem I have of streaming if I do digital art, A, I'm not really into a digital art kick right now, and B, it's been so long since I've done digital work for myself, I really don't want to stream it until I get more familiar. And even when if I was to stream digital art, I probably won't. Just pointing that out right now. I probably won't stream too much unless it's just inking, because the way I do my sketch process is just a clusterfuck of stupidity. Like, my sketches take the longest time out of, besides coloring. Line art I get done in no time, but I also don't want to feel pressured right now to commit to something when one of my biggest red flags to abandon projects is to be under a deadline. I don't want any deadlines attached to any of this right now while I currently try to fix, or not fix, but to rehabilitate myself into training myself into actually starting things to begin with and to finish it. So this is going to be definitely more therapy for me, but it's going to be fun therapy, and it's going to be great for all you guys. Now, the first few streams, I'm not going to have any music in the background or anything like that. That might change later on. I'll probably start listening to my music on my own, so if you want to listen to your music, feel free to jam out while watching me latch hook. But again, I don't like the idea of messing around with copyright claims on YouTube or even on Twitch when especially involves something that's not video game related and is indeed related to my own artwork. That I do not want to dip my toes into for that shark-filled water. But we'll see how that goes on. Might create a specific playlist for you guys. Who knows? But there's also, you guys know how to listen to music. But, so yeah, this, I'm really looking forward to this, guys. And also, maybe, when I do start making my own patterns, if I do, like, like, say how I plan on doing a 3x3 Isaac design, I can print that out, or I can also put that into Google Documents and put it on Discord. And if you guys want to learn how to latch hook and go along and make your own, I'll Bob Ross it. I'll knit those happy little trees. So yeah, if you guys want to start thinking about requests or anything like that you'd like to see, because this basically it's just pixelation. It's point by point. It's a bitmap. Every one of these squares is a pixel. So basically anything can be turned into a latch work of art. Now, granted, if you want something super realistic, you're talking about like a 12-foot by 12-foot canvas. I'm not working with that. I'm talking about like designs that are already sprites, pixelation, things that are already on a grid sort of method. Now, nothing that's like fluid, super detailed, anime, but things like, the Binding of Isaac, probably, Enter the Gungeon would be good. Anything that uses sprites, really, would work out really well. Shovel Knight would work out really well. All that kind of stuff. So, yeah, if you guys want to start thinking up things that you want to see me do, because I really do like this idea of having a blank canvas and then printing it out or creating my own grid, because now that I know what I need to do, this is simple as shit. Are you kidding me? My God, this is pretty good. But let me move on to something real quick. With this kit, it shows how to latch hook really easy. Let me read this real quick. Also, this yarn, this individual yarn that I'm using right now that came with this kit, is each strand is 2.5 inches long, and I feel like that's a bit too long. I think 2 inches would have been the ideal length. I don't really like it being super shaggy. I like it to be a bit more, I like the fibers to be a bit more shorter so that you can see the design a lot better, like how you can see here where it's solid, but this is the back, so this isn't the part that you're supposed to see. But I like it to be more, I feel like shorter fibers make the design much more readable. And I like that kind of fiber work. So, and it's also really easy to make your own yarn strings like this. I'll probably show you guys later on in the future, because if I do start making my own custom designs, I'm going to have to make my own custom threads, and that's fine. And by custom threads, I mean just cutting them out to the length that I need them. So I can show you guys how to make, it's really easy how to make this. If you just get 2 dowels, wrap the yarn and then cut them on each side, that's how you measure them out. But I'll once I actually show you guys what that looks like when I make the thing, it'll make much more sense. Let me read this real quick. All right, here we go. So how to latch hook. Where? Oh, where? Here we go. So, this kit really did show it off pretty well. So what you do is you need a specific kind of tool. You need a latch hook. Alright, so it has this little dangle dongle, and you wrap the thread around at the base. So if that was up, you wrap the thread. I'll show you guys after I do this, after I show you the graphics, but I think these graphics are really good. You wrap it around, you insert the hook under the grid, you pull the yarn up into the hook, and then you pull out the tool with the little I don't know any of the technical terms for this. I was just taught by my grandma. I don't know any of the actual linguists or the terminology that goes along with latch hooking. Sorry guys. Everything's gonna be well, I guess it's the latch. It's the latch and there's a hook. That's all you need to know. So the latch closes on the hook, you pull it out, and then it gets tied off onto the little thing. Now the problem with this is not the latch hook that I've always used. I bought this yesterday with the kit for like $1. It's really fucking cheap. The hook right here is incredibly thin. This is a hook that you would use for extremely fine fibers, not thick yarn like this. This would be good for something that takes a lot more detail, because the problem with using a thin hook on thick fibers is it will tear the fibers. It'll fray them, and you don't want that to happen. Now, I have a really good latch hook, the one that was my grandma's, but that's somewhere next door, and I don't know where the hell that is, and that's a thick, well-made hook. So that's the one that I would like to start using for the next projects, but I gotta find it first. But this one, it's doing the job for a basic little 4 square by 4 square, 12 inch by 12 inch design. So I'm not gonna complain too much. But yeah, actually, guys, if you want to learn how to latch hook, I actually suggest buying this or buying one of the kits from AC Moore if you have an AC Moore, going online to whatever. What the hell is this even called? Hold on. Getting things ready. Alright, this was done by Wonder Art. So if you want to look up Wonder Art's how-to kits, there you go. If you're interested, I highly suggest them. Kirby, you're looting it up. I can't even see chat. I'm incredibly blinded right now. And so, let's talk about my setup real quick. This is the most ghetto-ass setup I've ever had. Anyways, the camera is attached to the Acer, the potato, right here. So I can see Twitch on this side. The screen is facing me. So here's the camera. My microphone's over here on my other table. This is being propped up by my one table that I used to use. It's a normal default crafting table that I would use for events and stuff like that. Then my Alienware is all the way over there. So OBS I can barely see, but it seems like it's going fine. So this thing, I need to buy an actual easel at some point. I just never really had a reason to buy an easel or invest into an easel, because like why would I mostly do digital art? Who gives a shit? Even for animation, you don't need an easel for anything, but an easel would come in real handy for this. So I need to invest into that. But I feel like I've covered everything that I can right now. If anything else happens during the stream, then yeah, I guess that's more information for you guys. But when I do art, I stay focused on my art. I don't really talk that much, because why would I? What lunatic talks to themselves while they're creating art? So usually I'll probably take a little break every now and then, respond to chat, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to be even slower at responding to chat than I normally am, if you can believe it or not. But if you guys have any questions, anything like that, feel free to ask. I'm going to definitely read through everything. If you guys start, posting too much to where I can't see everyone who's been talking, I'll probably have to put the chat into slow mode. But that's as far as it goes. But I'll keep my eye out. And again, no music to these videos as of right now. Again, I'm going to avoid as much. It's not copyright actual infringement I'm worried about, because those leeches on YouTube will fucking try to claim even public domain music. I'm not talking about companies that actually own the music flagging me or anything like that. I'm talking about the leeches. Those sacks of shit dummy companies are the bane of everyone's existence on YouTube and in the internet in general, and yet they're legally allowed to steal from normal people. It's great. It's wonderful. Good job, YouTube. Good job. So yeah, that's the basics of how to do this. Again, this is a 10 by 10 square within the blue. There's 4 blue length, 4 blue width, and we're doing a basic black and white pattern. So it's going to be fun. I'm really excited to do this. I'd like to get at least all the way up to the second level completed, so that half of this is completely done by this stream. I may go a bit further, but I definitely want to get up to this blue line. That blue line is our goal for today, and we'll see how long that takes us. If it gets done really fast, then I'll keep going. But again, I want to stream and have fun. I want to have funsies. I'll probably tell stories throughout from time to time, but I will be listening to my own music too in order to stay in the groove, because that's how art do. Alright, let me see what you guys have actually been saying. I gotta go over here real quick. God, there's so... I made like a fucking fortress of wires here. This is ridiculous. Oh, those cats are awesome. Geez, pretty sure I didn't learn any actual skills until I was like 7, yeah. Anime realism, Plague Knight. I gotta head to work. I'll BRB. I'll see you later, Kirby. So, thanks to everyone who's dropping by. Again, bits subscriptions are always appreciated. Look at that bit cup. And listen, I now have the cheers set to reset every week, and Monday happened, and that counted as a new week. So I mean, people someone's got to be number one at the cheer bidding section. Okay, I'm gonna remind everyone to shop Donate. Yeah. An gamer tag. I'm also working with nails like this right now. This is fun. All right, it's gonna be good. It's okay. All right, so I gotta figure out how I want to set up my how I want to set this up so I can work. Let me just take a drink real quick. Again, feel free to listen to your own music, do other things, while you watch me make the art. So let me demonstrate to you how latch hooking actually works. I gotta put up my design. Yeah, that's good. Also, this stupid-ass skull and crossbones. It's a 10 by 10 grid, but for some reason this whole half... What is it? This whole half is off by 1, so every other square is 10 by 10. This one is 10 height-wise and 9 that way. And it's like, what the hell? Come on. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Alright, let me scooch my chair up a bit more. So I am now in the activate working position. I may have to adjust the camera as I work as well, because like my elbow is right here. And there's a laptop right in front of it too. So let's go to something easy. Alright. Let's start with one of the blacks. So what you do is, I'm looking at my camera. Again, each of these is 2.5 inches long, each strand. I wish they were 2 inches, but this is a shaggier carpet. So what you do is you latch it like this around the thing. So you hold both ends around the neck of the hook. Okay. You make sure the latch is down. All right. You then place the hook underneath the ribbing of the grid, and you make sure that the latch is on the other side so it can close. So you lift up the loop, wrap it around the latch, make sure it's caught by the hook, and bam, there you go. Simple as that. It creates its own knot, and that's how you make a carpet. That is how mankind has made carpets for its entire existence. So let's just do this. These two sides are, of course, symmetrical, except for the fact that this is only 10 by 9 instead of being 10 by 10. So this whole bottom row on both sides are going to be black. So let's just fill that up. So again, you wrap the loop around the neck, make sure the latch is on the other side, pull up the yarn, wrap it around the latch, get it caught on the hook, and there you go. And as you can see, this kind of frayed a little bit because since this hook is so small, so thin, on thick fibers like that, it'll cause it to fray, which is a pain in the ass for quality. But it also, another good thing about latch hooking is you can always undo. If something ever gets broken, like one of the fibers breaks or anything like that, you can just undo it and then rehook it. There is no way to really destroy a latch hook project without trying to do so. And also, since this is a fiber piece and it all goes down, and it's basically, it's like scales on a fish or a lizard or a snake, a sneaky snake, it means that the top layer will always cover the bottom layer. So what you always have to do is start with the bottom row of the design and go from there. Now, granted, like, let's say, all right, there's going to be a white part in here on this row, right. I'm looking at the design layout right now, so I'm taking in a piece of white. Right here, there is going to be a piece of white. So you wrap it, you pull it, it's hooked. There you go. So if you want to do different designs on the same line, it's perfectly fine. What you don't want to do is you don't want to start saying, oh, well, I'm getting sick and tired of down here. I'm going to start working up here. Don't ever do that. That is a bad idea. You always want to start at the bottom and work your way up, because it's just like weaving. I know how to weave as well. I don't know why my grandma didn't teach me how to knit or crochet, but I know how to weave, I know how to latch hook, sew, all those basic good things. And just like with weaving, you wouldn't start like midway through and then go like a quarter way down and all that kind of stuff. You have to go in a specific order, otherwise you fuck everything up. It's like building a spider web. Spider web goes around until it reaches the outside of the spider web. It's the same thing. You don't build a building starting on the 30th floor and working your way down. That's the opposite. But let's continue with this section, which is going to be all black. And also, let me look at the time real quick after I do this. See, it sucks because I can't watch TV in the background while doing this. Copyright claims. Anyways, it's now 2:55, so basically 3 p.m. We have been live for, what is it? Uptime. About a half hour I probably was talking for that introduction video, so that's not too bad. Alright, I'm gonna put these fibers up here on this table where my microphone is. That's a lot easier to pick up. And for this particular project, they gave me 4 containers of black and white yarn, and I don't think they gave me enough yarn to even complete this thing. So we're going to complete this as much as we can until we run out of supplies before we move on to the next project in latch hooking. But yeah, again, if you guys have any ideas of what I should do next, let me know. We have a Discord. Suggestions are absolutely allowed. But like how I showed you guys my Binding of Isaac sticker the other day, I think if I did that as a latch hook, that would work out really fine. So again, boom, there we go. Now I know my hand is going to be in the way for some of this because of how the camera's set up, but there's no real good way of like showing. Oh shit, my alarm went off. Hold on. I thought I wouldn't be awake by now. Hold on. Feels bad when you actually wake up at normal people hours, but you forget to reset your alarm. Alright, let me make sure that you guys actually did get to see the demonstration, because I just looked over and my hand is taking up a lot of space. So again, latch the string around the neck, okay? Put the hook under, alright? Then you wrap that around the latch, alright? You pull, and Bob's your uncle. I'm not your uncle. I'm your real dad. Alright. So how's everybody doing this love? I keep thinking it's Monday. Yesterday did not feel like a Monday. I got a lot of shit done yesterday. Better Call Saul still going. Fucking Venture Brothers still going. Attack on Titan still going. So much things are going. I'm gonna start listening to my music. Hold on. Let me get my playlist going. It really does feel like a Monday today. I don't know why, but let me... Because the thing is, when I do my art, too, is I like trance music. I like having things on a loop so that I don't have to think about what's coming up next or get absorbed into the song. I want the song to be a secondary kind of thing because my first focus is the art. That's how it's always been for me, and that's how it always will be for me. So, like, my number one played songs are all from Newgrounds trance music. I just keep it on a loop and I keep going. So right now, I'm going to be listening to Cold Blood and Ice Cream Cones by Arion. Very good song. I highly recommend it. And I'm going to keep that on loop. Alright. Let's make sure you guys can't hear it. I don't know why you would. It's on the potato, not on the Alienware. Yep, you guys can't hear it. Alright, time to jam. So I'm listening to my own music. You guys, feel free to listen to yours. But yeah, I kind of think that'd be a cool idea to do like a latch along with me while I make the design. Because I wouldn't mind if you guys made your own works from the designs I've released. Be no problem with that. Now, granted, if it was like a commission and the commissioner didn't want their design to be forever, they wanted it just unique, made by me, I can understand that. But if my own personal designs, I'll make it public for you guys to download if you wanted to print it out or anything like that. And this also gets around the loophole of me doing fan art and being able to sell it. Because again, I cannot do vending in the state of New York, but I can take commissions. I always have, and I always will be allowed to take commissions. But I also like them bits, hey! Alright, so that side's done. And since the other side's completely symmetrical, we'll start working on the black over here too. It really doesn't feel like they gave me enough materials to work with this thing. Well, I only paid $10 for this, so who cares? Hell, I could have got it for $5 if I had the damn coupon. Alas, I did not plan on going to AC Moore, it just kind of happened. Also, if I start screaming because I'm talking over my music and I'm an idiot and can't comprehend that around me did not get louder, it's just in my head. See, look how afraid that got because of the hook. Got real afraid. Let me know if I start screaming at you guys. I don't need to be screaming at you guys. But yesterday, too, while I was, before I went to AC Moore, I actually went to our Barnes & Nobles for, like, the first time in years. When the fuck did Barnes & Nobles become a shittier version of Kmart? Like, it basically is Kmart without a food section. It's ridiculous. There is maybe, like, 20... Okay, look, so I fucked that up real bad. Alright? So what you want to do is you want to pull out the knot. Right here. Okay? And there it goes. It just comes right out, and you can fix that. But, like, Barnes & Noble's, like, maybe 20% books at this point in its existence. I don't know what the fuck happened. It's mostly Funko Pops and, like, CDs. Oh my god, this hook is just tearing this apart. Alright, that works out fine, though. That'll work. Yeah, I only paid, like, $1 for this. I need to find my good hook. That thing's a beast. Any metals made, like, metal products made in the 80s, those things last forever. This is just throwaway garbage. I might also invest into other hooks, get really good ones off of like Amazon, all that kind of stuff, but really anything that is a simple tool and pure metal and was made before the year 1990, I trust it. Like, my main umbrella that I use is older than me. I'm 28. That thing's like 35 years old. All other umbrellas I've ever had in my life have, like, broken the first time you use it. That thing is just a solid chunk of steel. That'll keep the rain off you. But, like, no, Barnes & Nobles, you can't just sell Funko Pops when you're a bookstore. This is ridiculous. FYE, I can understand. They're in the entertainment industry. You have no excuse, Barnes & Noble. Except, I guess, to try to survive in this digital age. Digital style and a digital dance. Hey, this is fun. Show me your bobs. No, son. No. I shall show you my sweet latch hooking. There we go.